There is something weighing you down, something you can't quite name, yet you feel it in every moment of your life. It lingers in the background, an invisible weight pressing on your chest, filling your mind with static, making everything feel heavier than it should. It clutters your thoughts, drains your energy, and turns your days into an exhausting cycle of tasks, responsibilities, and expectations. It is the force that keeps you restless, even in moments of stillness. The reason you feel like you're running, yet never arriving. The reason you can never fully relax. Even when everything around you is quiet, you can feel it, even if you can't see it. It's in the overwhelming to-do lists that seem to grow longer no matter how much you check off. It's in the countless possessions stacking up in your home, the ones you once thought would bring you happiness, yet now only add to the chaos. It's in the constant need to achieve more, be more, have more, because somewhere along the way, you were told that your worth is measured by what you do rather than who you are. It's in the background noise of your thoughts, the never-ending chatter, the self-imposed pressure, the expectations from society, from others, from yourself. It's in that nagging feeling that whispers, you should be doing more, you should be further ahead, you should be better, and yet, despite all of this, you don't feel more fulfilled. You feel exhausted, you feel stressed, you feel like you are constantly being pulled in 100 different directions, and no matter how hard you try to keep up, the weight of it all never seems to get lighter. It's as if you are carrying an invisible burden, one that nobody else can see, but you feel its presence in every moment. A burden of expectations, a burden of obligations, a burden of too much. And the cruelest part, you've convinced yourself that this is just how life is supposed to be, that stress is normal, that exhaustion is the price of success, that complexity is inevitable. But what if none of that was true? What if the answer to your problems isn't more, but less? What if the key to happiness, to clarity, to peace, is not found in adding, but in subtracting? What if by stripping away the unnecessary, you might finally be able to see what truly matters? Because right now, your life is too complicated, and maybe, just maybe, that's why you feel so lost. We live in a world that worships more money, more success, more possessions, more responsibilities, more commitments. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to believe that happiness is something external, something we must chase, earn, or acquire. Society teaches us that the more we accumulate, the more valuable our lives become, that fulfillment is found in addition, in constantly building, in never stopping to question whether any of it actually matters. And so, we chase. We chase bigger homes, fancier cars, prestigious titles, higher salaries, believing that each milestone will finally bring us peace. We chase approval, validation, recognition, trading authenticity for acceptance, exhausting ourselves in the endless pursuit of being enough. We chase experiences, entertainment, distractions, constantly stimulating our minds, afraid of the silence that might force us to face ourselves. We fill our lives with things. We fill our time with obligations. We fill our minds with noise. And yet, we are more disconnected than ever. Imagine walking into a Subway restaurant, hungry and ready to order a simple sandwich. You expect it to be quick, easy, a no-brainer, but instead, you're suddenly bombarded with choices. What kind of bread would you like? White, whole wheat, honey oat, Italian herbs and cheese. Do you want a 6-inch or a foot long? Would you like it toasted or fresh? What kind of cheese? Cheddar, Swiss, mozzarella. And just when you think you're almost done, what toppings would you like? Lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, olives, jalapenos, pickles, and the sauce, chipotle mayo, sweet onion, garlic aioli, honey mustard, BBQ, ranch, and then, just as you're about to answer, would you like to add avocado, bacon, or double meat? By now, you can feel the pressure. The line behind you is growing. The employee is staring, waiting for your decision, and you think to yourself, I just wanted a sandwich. How did something so simple become so complicated? And this, right here, is the problem. We've been conditioned to believe that more options mean more happiness. But in reality, more choices don't bring us peace. They bring us stress. Instead of making a quick, effortless decision, we get trapped in a cycle of overthinking, doubt, and choice paralysis. And this doesn't just happen in a sandwich shop. This is how our entire world operates. Everywhere we go, we're bombarded with too many choices. from careers and relationships to entertainment and technology. What movie should you watch? You scroll through Netflix for 30 minutes, overwhelmed by thousands of options, and in the end you watch nothing. What phone should you buy? There are dozens of brands, hundreds of models, each with tiny differences that don't even matter. What diet should you follow? Keto, vegan, intermittent fasting. You analyze them all, but you never fully commit. We believe that more choice equals more freedom, but in reality, it drains our energy, steals our time, and clutters our minds. Sometimes the answer isn't more options, more possibilities, more complexity. Sometimes the answer is simplicity, a simple sandwich, a simple life, a simple path. Not because you deserve less, but because you deserve more clarity, more peace, more focus on what truly matters. We work jobs we don't love, to buy things we don't need, to impress people we don't even like. We spend hours scrolling, consuming, comparing, only to feel more inadequate, more restless, more lost. Our homes are overflowing with possessions we once thought would bring us joy, yet now only suffocate us with clutter. Our schedules are so packed with commitments that we barely have time to breathe, let alone live. Our minds are drowning in endless thoughts, anxieties, and distractions, constantly pulled in 1,000 different directions, never truly present, never truly still. And yet, instead of stepping back, instead of questioning, instead of removing what isn't serving us, we keep adding more, because that's what we've been taught to do. Feeling empty? Buy something new? Feeling restless? Work harder? Feeling inadequate? Achieve more? Feeling unhappy? Chase another goal. And so the cycle continues. More, more. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what if the solution isn't to keep adding, but to start subtracting? What if fulfillment isn't found in accumulation, but in letting go? What if simplicity isn't just an alternative, but the only way out? Simplicity is not just about owning less. It's not just about cleaning out your closet or getting rid of old furniture. It's not about counting how many possessions you have or trying to live with only the bare essentials. Simplicity is about creating space, not just in your home, but in your mind, your heart, and your soul. It is the quieting of the noise, the release of the unnecessary, the unraveling of the knots inside you that have been tightening for years. It is about freeing yourself from everything that suffocates you, the clutter, the obligations, the expectations, the need to prove, the pressure to be more when you are already enough. It is about breathing again. Have you ever sat in a messy room, feeling overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff around you? It's not just the objects, the books, the papers, the clothes piling up in the corner. It's the weight they carry. Each thing in that room demands something from you, a decision, a responsibility, a small fragment of your mental energy. And even when you're not consciously thinking about it, it lingers in your subconscious. Now imagine stepping into a calm, open space, a room that is clean, peaceful, intentional. Nothing there demands your attention. Nothing clutters your vision or your thoughts. In that space, your mind is clear, your body relaxes, you breathe deeper. That is what simplicity feels like, not just in a room but in your entire life. Because simplicity isn't about less for the sake of less. It's about less of what doesn't matter, so you have more of what does. It's about removing distractions so you can finally be fully present, letting go of unnecessary stress so you can finally breathe, simplifying your thoughts so you can see things clearly, without the fog of anxiety, comparison, and overthinking clouding your vision. And most importantly, simplicity is about returning to yourself. It's about understanding what actually brings you joy, not the things you were told should bring you joy, not the things society tries to sell you as happiness, but the things that truly matter to you. Because the truth is, most of what we think we need, we don't. Most of what we chase is meaningless. Most of what keeps us up at night, the things we stress over, the things we believe define us, they are just illusions, shadows cast by a world that tells us we are not enough as we are. But once you strip away the excess, once you quiet the noise, once you remove the distractions that keep you running in circles, you begin to see something, you begin to feel something. The weight lifts, the anxiety fades, and for the first time in a long time, maybe even ever, you feel free. Because the life you want, it's not found in more, it's found in less. Not less in the sense of emptiness, but less in the sense of clarity, intention, peace. Less chaos, more meaning, less stress, more presence, less proving, more being. And once you embrace that, once you let go of what doesn't serve you, you will realize you were never missing anything. You were just buried underneath too much. Why should you simplify your life? Because simplicity brings peace, not just a fleeting sense of relief, but deep, unshakable peace, the kind that isn't dependent on your achievements, your possessions, or the opinions of others. The kind of peace that remains, even when the world around you is chaotic. Simplicity is not just about doing less. It is about being more present, more aware, more connected to yourself and the world around you. When you remove the excess, your mind stops racing. The constant thoughts, the endless to-do lists, the anxiety over things that don't truly matter, they all begin to fade. And in that stillness, you realize something profound. You were never meant to run this fast, carry this much, or chase this hard, but somewhere along the way, you were convinced that complexity is the price of success, that you have to be busy to be valuable, that you have to achieve to be worthy, that life must be a constant battle to be meaningful. So, you fill your days with tasks, distractions, and obligations. You say yes to things you don't want. You hold on to relationships that drain you. You pursue goals that don't align with who you truly are, all because you were told that more is always better. But what happens when you take a step back? What happens when you stop filling every space, every moment, every breath with things that don't serve you? You begin to see clearly. You begin to feel lighter. You begin to realize that the weight you were carrying, the stress, the expectations, the need to constantly prove yourself, was never yours to carry in the first place. Because the truth is, happiness is not found in more. It is found in less. Less clutter, more clarity, less noise, more stillness, less pressure, more freedom. Think of your life as a vast open sky. But over the years, you have filled it with clouds, layers of obligations, worries, and distractions that block the sun. You wake up each day wondering why you feel lost, why life feels heavy, why you can't seem to find your way. But it's not because the light is gone, it's because you've covered it up with too much. And simplicity is the act of removing those clouds, one by one, until you finally see the vast, beautiful sky that was always there. Because beneath all the layers of complexity, beneath the stress and the chaos, beneath the expectations that have been placed upon you, there is something untouched, something sacred, something real, you. And when you embrace simplicity, when you strip away everything that is not essential, you do not become less, you become whole. So, let go of the things that no longer serve you. Let go of the beliefs that tell you you need more to be enough. Let go of the idea that life has to be complicated to be meaningful. Because once you strip away everything that isn't important, what remains? Only what is real. And that is everything. Most people never simplify their lives, not because they don't want to, but because they are afraid of what they might find when the noise dies down, afraid of what will be left when there is nothing left to chase, afraid of facing the silence and realizing that they have been running for so long, they no longer know where they were going. Complexity is a distraction, a way to avoid the truth, a way to keep ourselves busy enough that we don't have to ask the difficult questions, the ones that linger in the quiet moments, the ones that whisper, "Why are you doing this? What are you really looking for? Is this the life you actually want?" And that is why people resist simplicity. Because simplicity demands confrontation. It strips away the distractions, the justifications, the excuses, and forces you to see things as they really are. It does not allow you to hide behind a packed schedule, a cluttered home, or an overflowing mind. It does not let you pretend that the stress and exhaustion are just part of life. It shows you the weight you have been carrying and asks the hardest question of all. Was it ever yours to carry in the first place? Complexity is not just overwhelming, it is deceptive. It disguises itself as progress, as success, as importance. The more commitments you have, the more valuable you must be. The busier you are, the more essential you must be. The more you achieve, the more worthy you must be. But in reality, complexity is just a cage. It keeps you running on a treadmill that never stops. More possessions mean more to maintain. More commitments mean less freedom. More distractions mean less clarity. And before you even realize it, you are drowning in obligations you never questioned, burdens you never needed, and a life that does not even feel like your own. But stopping feels impossible, because stopping means looking, and looking means realizing, and realizing means change, and change is terrifying. Because what happens when you strip away the things that don't matter? What happens when you remove the obligations, the expectations, the possessions that have defined you? What happens when there is no longer anything left to prove? You are left with only yourself. And if you have spent your life avoiding that person, meeting them again might be the hardest thing you have ever done. This is why people fill their lives with excess. Not because they need it, but because they are afraid of the emptiness underneath it all. They are afraid that if they slow down, if they let go, they will have to admit that they don't know who they are. So they keep going, keep adding, keep chasing, keep proving. And what does it cost them? Everything. Their peace, their time, their ability to be fully present, their connection to the things that actually matter, the quiet moments of joy that are always there, waiting, but never noticed. The relationships that need presence, not just proximity. The freedom to simply exist without needing to justify, explain, or validate their existence. And before they know it, they have spent their entire lives in pursuit of something they cannot even name, only to reach the end and wonder if any of it was ever real. So I ask you, is that really how you want to live? If you want to reclaim your time, your focus, your peace, you must simplify, not just by decluttering your home, but by decluttering your mind, your heart, your soul, not just by organizing your schedule, but by reorganizing your purpose, your energy, your existence. Simplicity is not just a practice, it is a return to your true nature, your deepest wisdom, your essence beyond all the noise. And it begins with one simple truth: you already have everything you need, but you cannot see it because you have buried yourself under too much, too many expectations, too many distractions, too many illusions about what will make you happy. The path to simplicity is not about losing anything. It is about remembering who you were before the world convinced you that you were not enough. Be still. Stop running. Stop chasing. Stop believing that peace is something you have to earn. Sit in silence. Breathe. Listen. You will hear what has always been there. Breathe deeply. Feel the air enter your lungs, the life force moving through you. Each breath is a reminder. You are here. You are alive. And that is enough. Let go of excess, your space, your commitments, your thoughts. Release what does not serve you. A cluttered room is a cluttered mind. A cluttered life is a heavy soul. Lighten your load. Let go of people who drain you. Not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. Some people were lessons, not lifelong companions. Thank them. Release them. Walk forward. Stop doing everything at once. Your mind is not meant to be pulled in 10 directions at once. Presence is power. Focus on one thing. Do it fully. Be where you are. That is enough. Learn to say no. Your energy is sacred. Stop giving it to things that do not align with your soul. Protect your time. Protect your heart. Say yes only when it truly feels right. Eat with gratitude, not to punish your body, not to control it, but to nourish it. Eat simply, whole foods, fresh ingredients. Your body is your home. Treat it well. Move, not to chase an ideal, but to honor your existence. Walk barefoot in the grass. Stretch under the morning sun. Dance when no one is watching. Move with joy. Know who you are. Strip away the labels. Forget what the world has told you to be. Look within. Who were you before fear, before conditioning, before society shaped you? That person is still there. Be grateful, not for things, not for achievements, but for the simple moments. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, the feeling of stillness after a deep breath. That is life. That is enough. In a world that constantly tries to pull you in 1,000 directions, there is one question you must ask yourself. Does this serve my highest self? Or is it just noise? Every possession, every relationship, every goal, every thought. If it does not bring you peace, clarity, or joy, let it go. Because simplicity is not just about removing things. It is about reclaiming your freedom. It is about choosing yourself over the distractions, over the expectations, over the pressure to constantly do, be, and have more. Simplicity is not a weakness. It is not emptiness. It is not lack. It is power. It is a quiet rebellion in a world obsessed with excess. It is a deep knowing that you do not need to prove anything to be worthy. It is the courage to walk away from what is unnecessary so you can fully embrace what is real. Because at the end of your life, you will not remember the things you owned. You will not remember the hours you spent proving your worth. You will not care about the opinions of those who never understood you. You will remember the moments, the ones where you were fully present, fully alive, fully yourself. And when that moment comes, you will not wish you had more. You will only wish you had chosen less, less distraction, less stress, less of everything that took you away from what really mattered. So let this be your invitation, not to do more, but to be more, not to chase, but to return, not to fill your life, but to free your soul. Because simplicity is not just a choice, it is a homecoming.